What is up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. It was an interesting day in gaming news yesterday with a lot of stuff happening, and not as much of it was good. I was hoping we'd get some really good news at some point throughout the day, and nothing really broke. It was actually a lot of bad news, really, a lot of depressing news, but we have to go through it still. We had a delay, a big delay, for the Switch version of Dark Souls, which is leaving a lot of people kind of confused right now as to why, and that's something we're going to take a look at. And, well, we found out that Castlevania is coming back, which is awesome, until you hear what platform it's on. So guys, let's get started. So we're roughly 5 weeks away from Dark Souls Remastered, which is releasing on all platforms, including the Switch version. In fact, the Nintendo Direct is where they announced the entire game. The idea of the game, Dark Souls Remastered, was announced at the end of the Nintendo Direct that they had, kind of a Direct Mini almost, right? They announced it there, and everyone was really excited, everyone was happy, it was coming out on all platforms. They had different features to them, whether it's you want the Switch for the portable nature, or you want an Xbox One X or a PS4 Pro version to get 4K. Everyone pretty much was happy. You know, there's a version for everyone. There was even the amiibo that they were putting out. Well, today, out of nowhere, the Twitter handle for Dark Souls said this: "Due to the nature of causality, we must announce that the Nintendo Switch version of Dark Souls Remastered will be pushed back to summer of 2018, and with it, the release of the Solaire of Astara amiibo. PC, PS4, X1 versions will maintain their May 25th release date." And from there, people were not happy. People were pretty mad, as you'd imagine. And honestly, I don't blame them. It's very close to release date, and something had to have come up that did this. There are also conspiracy theories about like Sony or Microsoft or somebody paying Bandai Namco or From Software, whoever's like working on this directly with all the companies, money to delay specifically the Switch version. No, that's not the case. Something else had to have popped up. We didn't even have the network test. Remember, we were supposed to have a network test, and we were getting closer and closer to release date, and we were trying to figure out, when is this network test going to happen? So that's the first thing. We don't even have that. And that kind of makes you wonder, what could be the problem here? What is this nature of causality that they are talking about? And they did talk a bit about it being a portable experience and handheld mode and everything. And it's, okay, maybe there are some bugs or some issues we don't see. For example, at PAX, we did see it playing, and it was playing relatively well. In fact, people were even running off of like the trail that was set for them, and they made their way into Blighttown, and Blighttown was even running well. So it's not even like Blighttown was running at 4 frames per second or something. That was fine. Now, of course, they give you so much that you can play in these demos, so there's a chance that they showed a fairly bug-free version of the game, and then there is, of course, a very buggy version of the game that is not at that trade show. So now we have to wonder, could it have something to do with the network? Maybe, for example, the online wasn't where they want it to be. Maybe they are still talking with Nintendo about the online service that will inevitably go up in September, and they just want to make sure everything is set up for that so it can transition over. It's anyone's guess at this point what the problem could have been. I guess some of the big issues here is there's no solid release date. Even the release window is massive. I mean, summer. That means that could release, I guess, August, early September. That's how far out it could be. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think this will come out probably, if I had to take a guess, a month later, so maybe mid-June, right? Early July, I think, is the latest that it could come out. And if that does happen, they will lose sales on that anyway, because some people might be like, well, I really wanted it, May 25th. I guess I'm going to buy it on the PS4. I guess I'm going to buy it on the PC or the Xbox instead. I do know some people who are really interested in the Switch version because it was going to be 1080p or 720p at 30 frames per second, and we played it at 30 frames per second ish, right, on the 360 and the PS3. So it was going to be an upgrade from those versions anyway. And they didn't maybe care as much about the 60 frames if they could be portable with it. But now, of course, if they want it day one, they're going to get it on other systems. So more than likely sales will suffer from this. And that's kind of an issue, especially since we don't even know when it's coming out. Hopefully, we have a release date before the other versions come out so we know how long we have to wait. Because if it's still like TBD or to be determined by May 25th when these other versions come out, some people might think, well, I don't want to possibly wait till the end of the summer to play this game. I want to play it now. and they'll buy it on the other systems. That's kind of that's a shame, right? Well, we'll also have to wait for the network test, because that could also give us an idea of when this game is coming out, because I could see the network test being a few weeks, maybe even a week or two before the official release date. But let me know what you guys think about Dark Souls being pushed back. Maybe you're frustrated, maybe you're now moving to another system because of this. I want to know your thoughts, guys, down in the comments. Next up, let's actually talk about a little bit of good news here. Wave Race could be seeing a bit of a resurgence. It's very, very interesting to see. Now, of course, back at the end of 2016, we did see that Nintendo had put a trademark in for Wave Race, and we started to wonder, okay, maybe it's in production, maybe they're doing something with it rather than just protecting the IP. It's been a while since we've seen Wave Race back on the GameCube, and we're kind of hoping, okay, maybe the Switch is a cool place to kind of bring that back. Maybe they bring back something like 1080 snowboarding as well, but Wave Race, I think, would be really, really neat to see there, and it sounds like we're not the only ones who want it back. Also, I've been recording a ton of footage from that GameCube HDMI Eon adapter that I had sent over, and I was recording some Wave Race footage, so I wanted a reason to show it. So here's some awesome progressive scan footage of Wave Race on the GameCube. Now, Shinya Takahashi talked to fandom at the 14th British Academy Games Awards. That was held last week, actually. Kind of talking a bit about, well, Wave Race, saying, "You may see that game again. We have been trying to make many games, so that may be one of them, and I personally love Wave Race." Okay, so Shinya Takahashi's on board with it. I think it would be awesome to see that. And we keep hearing little bits and pieces about these different games that haven't been around for a while. And now the Switch has seen a bit of a resurgence, right, into the mainstream and everything. The Wii, sure, the Wii it was there, right? It had mainstream success. It was kind of the mainstream that doesn't really follow you to the next generation, as we saw with the Wii U. But the Switch is in with gamers right now. I think we realize that. And if they start bringing back some of these older franchises, like a Wave Race, like a 1080, it could really help them with their, I would say, AA. We have like AAA, AA, single A. It'd be right there in the middle. It's not a franchise that's going to blow the doors off system sales or anything, but it's something that's cool to see, and it's something that I think would be a nice little compliment to bigger releases in the holiday season. So why not? I love Wave Race. I love 1080. Let's get these franchises going again, and maybe take a look at F-Zero too. Why not? Next up, let's talk about NBA Playgrounds, because the second one was announced yesterday. It's coming out sometime this summer, and it's interesting to see this because I didn't think this would be a yearly series or a yearly game that's released. Maybe that's the plan. I mean, they're going to run the number at the end up pretty quickly if they don't switch over to years. That's why it kind of threw me off, because it's not a yearly entry, like NBA Playgrounds 17 or 18 or anything. It's just NBA Playgrounds 2. It is coming out on all systems, so Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and everything, but it's coming out sometime this summer. That's all we know now from Saber Interactive, and they did talk a bit about how the first one was missing some features. It had a rocky development on things like the Switch. We know that, and they seem to be having a very kind of a focus on online play. Some of the biggest things include their championship mode, which is an online league setup with global rankings, which is going to be really cool. So you have competitive solo, co-op division ladders, people to kind of climb up as they play through, 3-point contests, and several other things that they're going to have and let us know about going forward. But it sounds like the first one was kind of like a trial run for them to get everything worked out, kind of I guess, different bugs and stuff ironed out, as we've seen, and this probably could have been an update to the original Playgrounds, but I guess they wanted to build a whole new game and resell it again. However, if it is better than the first one on day one on something like the Switch, for example, they might actually have something here. It seems like they learned a lot from that first one, and now they're going to come out with probably the actual game now. That was almost like the beta. All right, the second one is the full-fledged game. But it's coming out sometime this summer, and we'll see what other news drops about it, and then whenever we get a release date. Next up, let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 4, because it sounds like they are going to be foregoing one of the bigger features, the bigger parts of the game, especially from something like World War II, which was actually a very good campaign. It sounds like they're not going to be doing any of the campaign for Black Ops 4, which is very odd. Now listen, they did with Black Ops 3. That was on the 360 and the PS3. They got rid of the campaign in that too. So that was just the multiplayer. But it's a little weird to see this, that they would get rid of the campaign, because I know there's a lot of people who look forward to that. Even though, yes, I understand, some people just never touch it and they jump right into multiplayer. fine. But I know there's a lot of people who like playing the campaigns in these different games, and this might open the door for Battlefield. Now, this comes from Polygon. They have apparently from multiple sources saying that there will be no campaign in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And to go a step further, Charlie Intel is reporting that they are working currently on a Battle Royale mode that I assume is going to be like a 100-man Battle Royale, you know, jump in on the craze, kind of to bolster the amount of content there. That's where we get into some issues. Let's say this launches without a campaign. It's only multiplayer, it's zombies, great. Is this a $60 game still? Because it's missing a core component that the other $60 games in previous iterations have had, the campaign. From what they've said with these rumors, the reason that they had to scrap the campaign or get rid of it completely is because they didn't think they'd have it done in time for an October release. That makes no sense because they opted to have an October release. This could have come out a month later in November, giving them more development time. But of course, they wanted to get in front of Red Dead Redemption, so it sounds like they're going to show up to the party with half their game. I don't want to say half because a lot of people do use the multiplayer a lot. That's where all the replay value is, but still, no campaign, which I love the campaign in some of them, like Modern Warfare 2. I like that one, Modern Warfare, Black Ops 1. There are some good campaigns in the Call of Duty series. Even WW2 was a well-done campaign, but there will be none to look forward to here. So if you don't like the multiplayer in Call of Duty, maybe pass on Black Ops 4 from what we're hearing here. They, of course, will do a reveal next month. I believe that's May 15th. They'll have some sort of fan event where they're going to be showing off the game in full. Wait till then to double check and see, but honestly, I can't rule this out, and it's going to be weird to pay $60 for just a multiplayer-only Call of Duty and have that campaign left out. It just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like, I guess, enough content, at least to me. I know some of you are probably like, yeah, multiplayer, great, that's what I want. Maybe they'll expand the multiplayer, but honestly, based on what we're seeing with Activision and how this game is starting to feel more and more rushed, I wouldn't hold my breath. Next up, let's talk about Konami because they announced another Castlevania game yesterday and it's awesome. Well, kind of awesome. Not really, actually. It's coming out on iOS, so it's going to be on iPhones to start out with. I'm sure it'll probably move over to Android eventually because Konami wants that player base. They can get away with microtransactions easily in the mobile space. So guess what? Castlevania, that's a mobile game now. Yep. And fans reacted as you would expect. They're not happy. And I have a hard time, you can't blame them, right? We see a once proud franchise being pretty much relegated to mobile phones. Now, is this a smart move by Konami for that franchise? Probably, based on the track record. I don't think they have the creative talent and the staffing to build a AAA Castlevania like they could have in the past. It's just not there anymore. We saw Metal Gear Survive. They are a shell of what they used to be when they had someone like Kojima for that series, so I have no confidence in them building a good Castlevania. However, here are some stills from this new game called Castlevania Grimoire of Souls, and it's coming to iOS. It's going to have different things like boss rush, 4-player cooperative, 4v4 competitive multiplayer, and yes, it will have older playable characters, so they're going to pull from some nostalgia from people. Simon Belmont, Alucard, several others will also be available, and it's a shame. There will be a beta test going on in Japan. It sounds like they're targeting the Japanese audience first for this, and sure, that's fine. They are definitely going to have some sort of microtransactions, possibly loot boxes in there. For all we know, you can get away with a lot of that stuff in a free-to-play cell phone game. I'm assuming that this is free-to-play, but I can't guarantee it. I just hope it's free to play because then what would all these microtransactions and loot boxes being, why would they be in there? So let me know what you guys think about this. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are disappointed heavily in what Konami has become from what we used to know them as. They were a proud company back in the day, and now it's just, now they're making cell phone games with Castlevania. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about something that is awesome that I don't think enough people know about, so we're going to talk about it here, and that's Halo Online. You heard me right, Halo Online. It's back, kinda. Fans are bringing it back anyway, and it's been kind of in the works for a while now. They've been working hard on this, and they released this trailer here that you're seeing, and this is Halo Online. It's called El Dorado, and it's a pretty cool mod. Really, it's technically just the Halo Online that was released in Russia that was based around Halo 3, except it is fully playable and it's on PC, and it's going to have a full, really this is the 0.6 release, but it's going to have fixed a lot of bugs, add a lot of content with things like Forge, and it's going to be ready to go. It looks great. It's Halo 3 on the PC, full online, and they even have servers that they're setting up and stuff for it. This looks great. So if you have never heard about this, you can download this for free. They have everything set up, and you can start playing. I would wait, I guess, wait till the 20th, which is Friday, so we'll have Labo, God of War, and Halo. Awesome. That's a great weekend going on there. Check it out, though. I'm really excited. There's a link down in the description to their subreddit, so you can check everything out there. And it's if you're a Halo fan, you got a PC, and maybe you missed the old days of Halo, and you're ready to jump into something that has a bit of a higher population than what the Master Chief Collection has, and it's much more stable, this looks to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. Really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave a bunch of comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it is Konami and, I guess, their trajectory straight into the ground. Castlevania is a cell phone game now, guys. What can I say? That's just the way it is, I guess. But let me know what you think about this. Maybe you like the idea of the game. Maybe you hope it leaves Japan and goes worldwide, and you know, maybe it'll be a good game. Just it's on cell phones with iOS and not on something like the PS4, the Switch, or the Xbox One. You know, a console game. But that's where we are now. It's 2018. Castlevania is on your iOS device almost exclusively now, so that's great. Also, let me know what you think about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 with no campaign. Is that a deal breaker? I'm curious. Then, of course, Halo Online coming back. Are you a Halo fan, and does this look interesting to you? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.